You said just a few minutes ago, there's just this one vast infinite being. And I know that for most people, that's a very comforting and peaceful thought. It fills me with anxiety.
Oh,
I love
okay.
the thousand things. I love the multiplicity and variety of the universe and of the people in it. And the idea that we're already just one thing fills me with, as I say, a mixture of anxiety and claustrophobia.
Okay.
The idea that I might be God fills me with panic. And it
All
reminds
right.
me of a time in my student days when I was quite depressed and I started imagining I was the only real thing in the universe. And that was such an incredibly uh, lonely place to be. And I suppose I'm getting echoes of that, possibly. I don't know. And I don't know how you love someone if they're really just yourself. Doesn't love need a subject and an object? Maybe it doesn't. Obviously, it doesn't. Anyway, can you
Okay.
do anything
All
to allay my anxieties?
right. Okay. All right. Where to start? Let's start with the way I define love,
Yeah,
because I think that's really at the core
it could be.
of your question, and then we can follow it from there. I, I would suggest, Richard, that when you love someone, when we love someone, we feel that we are one with them. The sense of separation
Mm,
dissolve. Normally, we feel separate from one another,
mm.
subject, object. I would suggest that the experience of love is the collapse of the subject-object relationship. In other words, the felt sense of oneness.
Yeah, it may be. I've probably never loved enough to really explain it, but um,
But have you not felt, at least to a degree, with someone that you've loved deeply, have you
mm,
not felt, I feel one with you?
yes. But I'm still fascinated by the little things about them that are different from me.
Well, that may be so, but we'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah,
We're just talking about the felt sense of love. What
yeah,
is the felt sense of
mm,
love? I would
yeah,
suggest
yes,
that the felt sense of love is it's not just the intuition, just so you know, that noise in the background, they're growling. We've got a family of howler monkeys living in the trees just next to the property. They're very vocal this morning.
I can't hear them. So yeah,
I'm in Costa Rica. Yeah, I would suggest that feeling of love, the feeling of oneness, it is not just the intuition, but the felt sense, the felt recognition that at the deepest level, our
mm,
being
mm,
is one. Now,
mm,
that doesn't deny the fact that at the level of our bodies and minds, we are separate and therefore related.
mm, mm,
I would suggest that love is not a relationship between two people. It's the collapse of relationship,
uh,
the collapse of separation. That's why we like love, because we
mm.
don't like being separate. To be separate
No,
is a lonely place.
it is.
The reason we like love is because in the experience of love, our felt sense of separation dissolves.
Mm,
In relation to another, we feel that at the deepest level, we are one.
mm,
Now, that felt sense of oneness can be expressed in relationship, in friendship. But the love itself is not a relationship.
mm,
Love
mm.
is the collapse of relationship. Relationship is an expression, or friendship. That's what's so beautiful about what Yogananda said about friendship being. I'm paraphrasing. I said friendship is the highest experience, highest expression of love. Was what he meant. It was love. The absence of relationship, the absence of separation, is expressed in friendship. Now, friendship requires two people with their differences.
Mm, mm,
And that's, as you say, it's a beautiful thing. All the fascinating, interesting, maddening differences we have
yes.
with each other. That requires there to be separation. But what is it that we are celebrating in friendship? What do we enjoy in friendship?
Mm,
It's the love.
mm, 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 mm.
So I would suggest that the fact that my suggestion that there is just one being and that we are all that is not a lonely place to be. On the contrary, to be a separate self, that is a lonely place to be.
Yes.
Because if we feel I am a separate self, cut off from, albeit related to, all other selves, then that is a place for loneliness, for anxiety, for anxiety. The suggestion that we are all the one being is the remedy for loneliness. That there's no question of the one being. The one being is all alone, but not lonely. Because to be lonely, there has to be an other. Whenever you feel lonely, whenever we feel lonely, we always feel the presence of the other. Loneliness requires the other, albeit we cannot reach them. I'm alone in my apartment. There are all these people out there, all these others, but I feel cut off from them.
Yeah.
I'm not in relationship with any of them. Therefore, I feel lonely. In other words, the feeling of loneliness requires the other. But for being, there is no other. That's why its nature is said to be love. So it's all alone, but not lonely.
I will try and let all that sink in. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm sure. I mean, I think my problem is that, I imagine my little ego is everything, and that's a very lonely place.
That is indeed. You're absolutely right.
I mean, if I start thinking that, I think, oh my God,
Yeah. Reminds me of something my brother said to me years and years ago. He said, sometimes I'm haunted by the fear that I might live forever.
Yeah.
That was the fear of the ego.
Yes.
Can you imagine
No.
the ego living forever? That would be terrifying.
Yes.
But what is suggested by this understanding is not that I, the ego, will live forever, but that I, being, am eternal. And the ego appropriates that idea, misunderstands it, and thinks, oh my goodness, does that mean I'm going to live forever? Does that mean I'm God? Does that mean I'm the only self that exists? That indeed would be a lonely place.
Yeah. Yes.
But that's not what is being suggested.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's where my misunderstanding is, really.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah. Thank you, Rupert.
Nice to see you again, Richard.
Nice to see you. Cheers.